That's right, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Screwball Whiskey Studios, indeed. Screwball Whiskey, SKREW ballwhiskey.com. Screwball Whiskey, tomorrow's stories begin right here. Austin Perry.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
How are you?
I am fan-effing-tastic. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Today's Dude Day. I'm having a great day.
It's Dude Day, man. Mm-hmm. Explain to the good listeners what Dude Day is. But beforehand, excuse me, I'm sorry.
You should guess.
Before we go that far, if you want to know about time travel and shooting lukewarm SpaghettiOs from your fingertips as superpowers, then you're going to have to go to YouTube and subscribe to Kelsey Hudgins and get the beginning few minutes of content before we actually go live. So, yeah, and especially for audio folks, if you only listen on audio, please go to the YouTube and click subscribe so that you can see the beginning nonsense of shooting lukewarm SpaghettiOs out of fingertips. And by the way, snap, crackle, pop answer that like immediately time travel.
Yeah, that was good. That's just a little too dangerous for me, I have to say. It's just a little too dangerous. I'm sorry.
Anywho, I did not mean to interrupt what you were just about to say. But Brother Austin Perry in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hey, what's up? So on Sunday, we have this thing called Dude Day, and it's where my friends and I get all together and we go have coffee and we go grab lunch or like a bagel or something together. It can be anywhere. Most of the time it's around Market Common because we can walk around outside and it's nice to actually like enjoy the weather. But it happened because like all my friends, we were all sitting around one time and it was the first time we had hung out in months, and we were talking about how we don't have time to even play games anymore. We don't have time to like actually hang out because we all have lives and we're adults. And
Brian Rossler.
Yeah, and I suggested that we get together and we hang out because none of us like go to actual church, you know.
Right.
So I said, well, that's the time that we actually have time. But why don't we be adults and get up and go have coffee and hang out with each other and get away.
Be adults and get up.
Well, and it's a time to get away from like the stress. It's go have coffee, hang out, and we talk about everything from random business ideas that we have that will never come to fruition, but they're fun to have. I have a noodle shop called Zen Nudes. I want to help it, that kind of thing. Kind of fun. But, we do everything like that to like random anime that we saw on Reddit, So it's like everything and anything, just kind of get away, talk, hang out with your friends, like everybody wants to do, but we're all too busy with our own lives.
Right.
So we have it Dude Day. And cool part about Dude Day is that everybody's a dude. It's like Good Burger.
I'm a dude.
He's a dude. She's a dude. Because we're all dudes. Hey, it's like that. So my girlfriend comes.
90s kids love it. You too, Brian.
Everything
not just
about
90s kids.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it came from. We're all literally dudes.
Right.
Come on out, man. It's a lot of fun. And we go get coffee. It's usually about like 10. And we walk around. I suggest get your group of friends together and you do it. If you never get to see them, it's a lot of fun. And I think it's healthy. It's really, really healthy because it's cool to not think about work for like 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And the weird thing, though, is like us thinking about work is almost our job.
Yeah.
Thinking about, because we're constantly running stuff. And Brian can attest to this. You're constantly, when you're a musician, you're constantly spinning that wheel. It's never stopping. It's never stopped.
Yeah, and you have to. And the problem with that is, especially in tourist towns like this is not just exclusively Myrtle Beach, is that you have to hustle.
Right.
You have to go out and you have to talk to people and you have to have a good image. People have to know who you are. You have to have some sort of staple going down and you have to put it down. Whether you're new in the area or not, you still have to maintain some sort of relationship with people to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And that's a freaking hustle.
It is. It is, man. You gotta know, man. Early bird gets the worm, but you know what, man? There's still a lot of worms that can be gotten later in the day if you know where to look.
Well, that's the thing, and that's the cool part about somewhere like Myrtle Beach is that there's more than enough gigs for everybody. Mm-hmm. I know places that, like anybody can play, and it's awesome because they'll pay you, and
Right.
You can go in there and do it. You just have to go in there and show the effort. That's the thing a lot of people don't understand is that if you don't actually put in the effort behind it, nobody's going to want you to play there. But they'll pay you to play anywhere. There's a new coffee shop up in Polly's that just opened up. And it's freaking cool. I suggest you go get it. They got drip coffee. It's really cool. But it's big enough to have music. A friend of mine suggested that they maybe contact me. I already have a Facebook message. They don't do live music, but I might not be able to do it, but somebody might, and I might be able to push that into somebody else's direction. But you got to put in the effort. You know what I mean? You have to actually go out there and do it. And because they had heard my name before, or they had seen me play at, the Pit, or they had seen me play somewhere else.
Right.
They already, that guy's pretty good. Yeah, let's call him. Let's get in touch with him. Thank you so much, kind of thing. And they said that on there. And it's, if you have a good relationship with people, you can do it. And a lot of people just don't put in the effort to be nice, and they don't put in the effort to have that relationship with people,
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, 100%. That's a good thing to be able to, like, if you want to work every night of the week, you can.
You can. There's people out there that book 7 nights a week, and there's people that book 3 nights a week. I know people that book once a month.
I know people that do sometimes 2 and 3 gigs in a day and still carries a day job and teaches at universities and things.
I think his name rhymes with Ryan Bossler.
You know what? I want to take this moment. I stopped by Bourbon Street the other night on the way back from a gig. Actually, did the rain get you this weekend?
No, I was lucky enough to not be rained out.
We had 2 that we kind of got through. The first gig we played 3 songs, and we were at Barefoot Landing Stage, and it was that night, the Thursday night.
Yeah, that sucks.
With all of the lightning. Effort is more than just an email, Brian Rossler. You look good with a wrench beside your name there, buddy.
Absolutely, effort is more than just an email.
But that metal stage, and it was lightning, and the security guards came out, and they were like, "Did you want us to turn the lights on?" They didn't even have the lights on because they didn't think a band was coming, because of, obviously, the weather. Yeah. And we did like 3 songs there, and
noped out.
Yeah, noped out, and then the next night we were at Archie's, and that went pretty well. Like, we actually did good, and that was the American Sound. That was the Electric Project.
That's good. How's that going?
Great.
That's really cool.
It's going good, man. This is a big month for us. We ended up having we get a week of just American Sound gigs a month. Mm-hmm. Like, that's like my National Guard band.
That's awesome, though.
It's like a week a month.
No, dude, my group. A lot of my gigs are solos, and then because that's as well as I do, that's the bulk of what's around.
Right.
And then after that, I try to book my duo and my band as much as possible. My band is Suavocado. Check us out if you see us out. It's awesome. We are dance reggae jam group. We do some crazy stuff. It's a lot of fun. We got a ukulele player, and but anyway, it's a lot of fun. But like you said, it's a project that we can go out and actually have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to be able to do it with my friends. I hope you are too.
Right.
I hope everybody is, because that's kind of the best part about it.
But no, we had a pretty good night at Archie's, and we tried 3 or 4 songs that we hadn't done before.
Heck yeah.
And I love to do that. Like, that's what makes it fun for me. Is to try, and I don't even care. I'll bomb. I don't care.
That's okay.
I don't care. I'll bomb.
I sang "Rude" the other night. It's not in my. Yeah, it's too high for me. You should have heard me. It was terrible.
See,
you got to be so rude. It was so terrible, man. I couldn't do it. It was so bad. I tried. But I tried, man, and it was a request. God bless America.
I'll do that every now and again. It depends on what kind of mood that I'm in. Mm-hmm. If I halfway know, if I can think of like a few lines in the first verse and then a chorus, I'll give it a shot.
You can make it up.
Right. I'll ask the people beforehand. I'll be like, "You guys won't judge me if I make up some of these lyrics, will you?"
They're like, "No."
And they're like, "Do you think?" And I'll give it a shot. And you know what? I usually get tipped well on the effort.
There you go.
And I'm sure you do as well. You
know?
Like they appreciate you taking a stab at something you don't really know.
I played Riptides one night, and somebody asked for "She's a Bad Mamma Jamma," and all I could remember was the chorus. But I'll be damned if I did not jam out to that song the entire time. It was awesome. It was ridiculous. And they tipped well, too. They had a good time. It was good, man.
That's awesome, dude.
Solo little acoustic. She's a Bad Mama Jamma, and the effort was appreciated.
I almost got in trouble at Archie's gig though. Somebody asked for Wagon Wheel.
Nice.
And
yeah, it's Wagon Wheel.
I mean, I
Old Crow Medicine Show was awesome when they played it.
You know, I'll go so far as to say that Hootie and the Blowfish was one of the most influential bands of my life.
Dude, they were my first real concert. My aunt took me to up at the House of Blues. Freaking killed it.
Yeah, I mean, big musical influence on my life. But man, alive, the kind of people that come to a show, and I'm sorry if you were this person, forgive me, but if the people that come to the show and ask for the Tennessee whiskey and the wagon wheels.
Oh, okay. So hear me out. These songs are way overplayed, right? I feel like that's where you're going with that.
Yes.
So what? All right. I don't know. You should try this. I suggest any band out there, please do this. We're doing this with my band, and it's a lot of fun. And we don't play hardly anything like the original at all.
What's up, Kevin?
What's up, guys? And so, like, when we do Tennessee Whiskey, we do it in 4/4. I'm sure, like you do, like, the original.
Yeah.
And David Allan Coe, I love David Allan Coe. So when we do it like him, we took it and we sped it up, but we do it with the same chords as the newest version. So when Chris Stapleton does it, I think it's like A and B minor, I think. Yeah. And we do it, but we don't do it like slow. We do it like a jammin' blues tune. So it's like, your ass boom, Tennessee whiskey.
That's cool because you're not stealing the music from anyone else.
No,
like,
you're just
blatantly.
You're just doing it yourself.
That's what bothers me so much about it.
Like, just make it up. Do whatever you want to do. It's okay. It's music.
I like to play the George Jones version. Which is basically the David Allan Coe version. And the only reason I don't give David Allan Coe the nod on that version, even though I think he did it before George Jones.
Yeah.
Is just because David Allan Coe wrote so many other songs that I don't agree with.
It's okay.
And like, I love The Ride. Like, I love the Hank Williams song.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of other content out there that just turns me off.
Yeah, you don't have to like everything from every artist. That's for sure.
Right.
That is absolutely for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And but yeah, I'll do that. But just the people who ask for these songs and want to hear the same 12 songs that everybody else wants to hear just have to be they just have to be like baked chicken with no salt or pepper.
Yeah.
And that's
okay for some people.
I know that is, and I have such a hard time with it. And I'm working on that. I'm working on letting people be themselves.
And I like Indian spices. I want something real spicy. So I feel like my music taste is like that as well.
Right. I don't know, man. I just like I said, I almost got in trouble at Archie gigs. This woman up front was just the whole time we were playing. Daryl said, "Man," she was like, "I don't know this song," and then she's asked for Wagon Wheel, and we did like popular songs, but they're not like
might be B-sides instead of A-sides.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay.
Songs that people love and know. And listen, it was just for reference. Everybody else in the room had a blast. Everybody else in the room had a great time. But the one sitting right in front of the stage, like right there. They always sit there too, right?
Yeah, right there.
They always sit there right in front of the stage.
Yeah.
I can't hear anything you're saying. She's loudly saying to the girl next to her.
Yeah.
And I can't hear anything you're saying loud enough for us to hear it in the middle of a song. And I'm like, listen, I'm sorry. And then we say, hey, we're the American Sound, and then somebody's like, Boston, Kansas, and I said Walterboro, Bennettsville. I can do this too.
Start naming places.
Yeah,
Somerville.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I just sometimes, man, it was rainy, it was wet, and we were getting wet loading in.
It's hard, man, because sometimes you get into gigs and you hate it, and then somebody heckles you. We played a gig down in Surfside. It wasn't Scotty's, it was the other bar.
Neil and Pam's?
Neil and Pam's. We played there, and we were playing Grateful Dead. I think we were playing Franklin's Tower.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. We played some Grateful Dead, and it's pretty cool. So we were jamming it, and he or she, this lady, out in the freaking bar, all of a sudden, we finished the song, turned around. Apparently, she did not enjoy that tune. And I do a thing, because we do songs differently, I always say who it is. You know, I'm like, that's some Grateful Dead for you. You know, like, so that way, if you can't figure it out, you know, like, oh, shoot, I love that song. You know, I'm going to go look it up.
Right
there. Anyway, she apparently did not enjoy it. So whenever I said the Grateful Dead, and she goes, they're dead for a reason. To which I replied, ma'am, John Mayer's currently on tour with the remaining members, and
they will never die.
They're never going to die. They're going to continue to keep going, and the Grateful Dead's bigger than ever, and you're just wrong.
Right?
So, that's just the way it is. And she really, she left a really sour taste in my mouth. But that, like you said, it was rainy that evening. And there's all sorts of other factors. And she was just kind of a catalyst to that put me in
the straw.
Yeah, she was a straw that broke the camel's back. And I'm, sitting there. And that was kind of one of the gigs that I really kind of reflected on that I really hated. Not anything having to do with Neil and Pam's or anything like that. Just because that lady,
I had a similar experience there one night. Not since I love Zach and I love Neil.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with like the venue at all. It was that person that was there, and it just really left a sour taste in my mouth. And I've noticed that a lot of people have things like that, and they're really. Man, it's hard to get up there and produce art. Like, I mean, even though it's just cover tunes, I mean, as well as I do, it's even harder to do original music because you're getting so vulnerable. But as soon as you go up there and you do cover tunes that you do, 100 million times a year, and you get up there and somebody doesn't like it, you're like, I know that was good.
Yeah, like I know that was good. You are wrong. You all are wrong for not enjoying this.
Like, I know that was a pretty good tune. Like, I'm sorry that wasn't your favorite song, but you don't have to be rude to me. Like, kind of thing.
Do you get to when you get to that point in a gig? Do you try to give them the spoonful of sugar that you feel like they want, just so you can win them over for a second?
I gave somebody a spoonful of sugar last night, man.
What was it?
All right, this is the most ridiculous story that's ever happened in my musical career right now.
I'm so glad that we get the exclusive on this.
This happened last night, and I wasn't sure we were going to talk about this. All right, so I'm sitting up at the Grumpy Monk of Broadway.
Yeah.
Got there. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get my stuff out of the car. So as soon as the rain cleared out, boom, pulled it in real quick. Got it up, set up. I was on that stage, big, nice stage. Everything was good, easy. Went and sat at the bar, got myself a Pepsi. Sat down, and this dude sitting next to me, hammered out of his mind, looks over me and he's like, hey, like, you're the music? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the music, talking about the band, all this kind of stuff. And he starts talking about all these artists that he knows, name drops and all this stuff, big name artists, everything. And he then he said his uncle who disappeared. And I was like, your uncle disappeared? Like, it's kind of strange for you to say, like, randomly. Turns out his uncle was Jimmy Hoffa. Like, from the 70s. And so he sits here showing me pictures of Jimmy Hoffa, telling me random drunk stories about him going to Argentina, which everybody knows that's probably true. I mean, he was a mobster, I think. That's what The Irishman is about. That's what I thought was so crazy. I was like, literally, The Irishman, the movie, that's Scorsese movie that's about to come out, is about Jimmy Hoffa. And then this kid, this nephew, is sitting right here next to me, and I was like, all right, there's no way this dude's actually legit. Pulls out his ID, starts showing me pictures on his phone of him, dude straight up was just absolutely hammered, just wandering around the Grumpy Monk by himself. Jimmy Hoffa's nephew.
Like, for real. Like, his last name was Hoffa.
From all of my detective stuff, I mean, I'm not a detective, but from everything I could see, I don't want to say older gentleman, but, old enough to believe it. I was like, you freaking kidding me?
Wow.
Jimmy Hoffa? That's not who I thought you were going to say.
What up, Steve?
What's up, Steve?
Man.
Anyway, just ridiculous, out of nowhere, crazy story. So I had to give this guy a bunch of sugar because he was so drunk and that he was starting to get belligerent, coming up to stage, talking to me, all this kind of stuff. I had to play some random songs just for Mr. Jimmy Hoffa nephew.
Did he ask for like Frankie Vale and
He asked for like Candlestick and Beach House,
really?
and like weird, like vegan music. like Tegan
vegan music,
like Tegan and Sarah stuff, and I was like, dude, you're the most interesting person I've ever met. You have a tapestry around you, that's for sure.
Shit, that is great, man.
Yeah, out of nowhere, random stuff. You know,
I enjoy that gig. I actually had a Grumpy Monk 501 and then Broadway Friday, Saturday last weekend.
Nice.
And that was pretty good. What'd you do, Steve? What are you in Facebook jail for? But no, I really enjoy that gig. I talked to the bartender the other day and asked him what I should play. Like I always do that. You know, what do you guys want to hear? You're going to be here all night.
Yeah.
Like I want to, like I'll get the request, but every other song I've usually got somebody else in mind when I do it. If I see somebody walk in with a band shirt on, or
I see a Grateful Dead tune, man, I'll pull out like
Right.
Fire on the Mountain.
Right.
Like, yeah. Anyway.
Always do that, and then you know what? Most of them are so oblivious to the fact that you're actually doing that for them,
Yeah,
and which
okay.
I like.
Yeah.
Like I like the fact that they don't know that like this is actually for them. Like I played this for you, but I'm not gonna.
You do good stuff to do good stuff, not because,
Right.
yeah, it's like
Right.
it's awesome. And that's the good stuff we can do up on stage, you know?
Yeah, you're right, but just I don't know. Given the bartenders what they want to hear though is always I feel like what got us farther in the beginning as Cornbread was playing to the bartenders and tipping the bartenders well, and you know they're all telling the bartender telling the manager you should book these guys or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's the good stuff though. That's what gets you booked in some places.
Yeah.
Like it's good.
That's how it used to be. Like this was not as much today these days.
Well,
because bartender does it seem like bartender cores in bars aren't staying together as longer anymore as they
yes.
used to?
Okay, so I've noticed that like in the scene in Myrtle Beach has changed, and I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the bartenders because you know we're literally in the same spot and we work
Yep.
off the same tips. And if the band's good, the bartenders are going to get good tips. Mm-hmm. If the band sucks, there's not going to be there. Like so, we work together. But
Right.
I've noticed that a lot of places, their bartenders change so often. There's no camaraderie. There's nobody cahooting. There's nobody helping anybody out.
Yeah.
And that has changed. That's good and bad at the same time. It's bad because really fun gigs stop existing.
Yeah.
Like where you get in a place and you know every bartender and they know you and you can go in and you can have a great time, play whatever you want, and you're killing it. Yeah, exactly. The bartenders and waitresses are the ones that also get you fired. That's the problem now. All the new people in there, they come in and they don't like you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then they say, oh, I don't want that guy to play here anymore. And then they trash talk you to the new owner, the new manager, or whatever, and you no longer play there.
Yeah.
And that's it. It has created almost a negative aspect from the venue to the artist relationship. But at the same time, the artist to artist relationship down here has gotten better. I think. It's gotten healthier. It's gotten like I don't know. We're trying to help each other out a lot more. We have each other's back a lot more, whether we book with the same people or not. Like we're all looking for like to help each other out regardless of what's going on. And so the venues are kind of doing their own thing, and then we're all coming in.
We don't let business interfere with our friendships.
Yeah, exactly. That's not how it goes. I mean, I'm recording over at my friend's house right now, and we're paying him to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's business, and then we do friends. Like it's business and friendships don't. Like they can intermingle, and that's what happens a lot of times within this industry because we all are working towards the same thing, and it sucks because you get into a venue and you start loving the bartenders and you start loving the other artists that play there, and the next thing you know, a new manager comes in and all that's gone to crap because they don't necessarily want that.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, but I like what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I like this. I think we are doing things the right way finally. Like the old Myrtle Beach scene used to be great, and then it died completely, got toxic and terrible, and people were doing gigs for
Cutthroat.
Yeah, Cutthroat, man. It was terrible. I can't tell you how terrible that was. And then now it's getting to the point where there's so many gigs that you can pass them on to all of your friends, and you can you can help other people out. And I think that's something that is good because there's more restaurants, there's more tourism going on. I mean, Myrtle Beach is one of the fastest growing areas on the East Coast. It's huge.
And apparently it's the 4th dangerous city in the country.
Really?
Apparently. But who can tell with these? Who can tell with
and
these?
I'm a native, man.
Yeah.
Grand Strand Hospital right here. I'm dangerous. No.
And who can tell with these Facebook?
Yeah, that's just
things
ridiculous
these
because
days.
I don't see that often. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like maybe every once in a while something happens, but that's literally every city. And like, I doubt we're less dangerous than Chicago or New York or Detroit. Or, you know what I mean? Like we're not even close to that.
Or more dangerous than
Yeah, we're not more dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
Or we're even on the same level. You know, it's a very different type of thing. Yeah, okay. So Steve's over here talking about getting rid of this monopoly over here. And that's kind of what has already happened within the music industry in Myrtle Beach as well. There's a couple of people booking around town. There's people are more booking by themselves with that Jive app going on. There's a lot of different things going on, and it's healthy and it's cool because there's way more gigs now.
Oh yeah,
It's like now everything
there's
is
rooms
opened
that
up.
we didn't know about.
Yeah, and that's awesome because those rooms that we didn't know about, they're actually really intimate and really personal. And you can go in and play whatever you want. I can go play my 90s emo in there and they love it. You know what I mean? Like I'll
I do so much of that.
Yeah, like I mean, I'll go in there and do Beauty Within the Breakdown from the Scene Aesthetic, right? Like early 2000s. And I'll go do that one, and I'll do that at the Brass Tap because they like that
Dude,
stuff.
the Brass Tap is my
it.
emo gig. Dude, I walk in there with My Chemical Romance and Taking Back Sunday and Brand New.
There you go.
And they eat that shit up. I love that gig. That's one of my favorite solo rooms is the Brass Tap.
Yeah.
I love that spot.
It's awesome, man, and that's kind of what I like. And it's more rooms like that are popping up, and it's because the relationships between.
Better be careful, Steve. I need that guy.
Yeah. Well, the thing, a lot of people that don't use local booking agents don't need them, but other people do. Like myself, I have a day job. And I work all day long, and I have other things going on. And for me to go out and hustle and go out and get these things, that's a lot of time. And then I literally don't have a life. Like I would not be able to have a personal life. My girlfriend and I would probably suffer. You know, my dog would suffer. Like all these things would suffer. And it makes my life a lot easier. And I don't mind paying someone a little bit extra to do it.
Same.
And that's okay for me. And I fully encourage anyone to go out and get any gig that they can. I want you to. That's awesome. I hope you do. I personally can't.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that hinders me. And so I use the options that I have. And it just so happens that that's the booking agents here in town. And they're awesome. Right. They would love me. I love them. We have a great relationship with every single one I use. And it's wonderful. And it's opening up more and more. It's not one or two people anymore. You know, it's 4 or 5 people now doing it from the north end all the way down to Charleston. You know, it's really spread out, and gigs are. It's never been easier to get in with those people. And the only thing is you got to be professional. Like that's the problem. They're like if you get with a booking agent, you come in, you got to know certain songs. You got to know the Wagon Wheel. You got to know the Margaritaville. You got to know that stuff because some gigs require you play that stuff. Nowadays, most gigs don't, and that's the best part. You can go in there and play TLC or Guns N' Roses.
Now most gigs require you not play those songs.
Yeah, and that's the best part is that they want you to make sure, hey, can you do this? Yeah, perfect. Don't do that. Play something else. We want to know you're ready to play what we want. We just want you to do what you got to do.
Right.
And that's what I like about it. It's I can go in and play places, and a lot of people nowadays are going out and getting gigs, and it's awesome, man. Some of my favorite bands are bands that don't book with a booking agent down here.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of the original artists. I don't know a single original artist that worked with a booking agent down here.
Yep.
And they still get tons of gigs. So it's not like it's impossible.
There
and it's
are
not like
because there are those original rooms.
Yeah, and there's the new one up in Charlotte that's amazing. What's the name of that? The Listening Room or something that does a lot of. They do jazz. They do. Well, that's just not true. But
Yeah, that's not true.
that's just a
I
biased
don't agree with
opinion.
that, Steve.
That's just a biased opinion, man. I'm sorry, but it's actually the music scene has actually been growing in the area. I think, and
Yeah.
it's actually becoming more healthy.
And
the
not
pay
only that,
has gone
listen
up all
at
the way
the
around.
quality of the artists in this area.
It has gone up, and it's not just the cover artist.
Any hack can't get on stage anywhere around here.
And it's not just the cover artist, man.
Right.
It's the original artist, and there's even tons of there's more jams, open jams that you can go jam out. So even if you aren't a professional artist that can go out there and perform 4 hours worth of tunes, you can go out and jam and have a great
The sound house.
That's what it is. Thank you. You can go out there and you can jam and you can. If you want to get to that point, you can. You can communicate, network. I mean, it's all about the community in the first place. I mean, it's like if you crap on other artists just for doing something, like if for having a gig that you don't have, you're hurting the scene. There's no way around it. You're part of the problem. If you want to help a scene, help your fellow artists. It's only going to get good. If you get a gig and you're friends with them and they're going to give you the gig.
Exactly.
Why would they not give you the gig? They trust you. People want to work with that.
And I think that the mindset of, the mindset of I should have this gig, this person should not have this gig. Mm-hmm. That whole mindset does nothing positive for this area at all.
It actually hinders it. I know guys that come into the shop and they talk crap to me about artists all the time. And I'm honest about artists. If people are good or they're bad, like I'm honest.
Yeah.
But
you're like the bartender for us musicians. We get to come in and we get to complain.
Yeah, everybody comes in and talks to me, and it's awesome.
I don't know if I do that.
Because no, it's okay because everybody has to have somebody to complain to. A barber shop or a bartender or something like that. And you come into me and you buy strings, and everybody talks to me about stuff. They talk to me about their gear. They talk to me about their bandmates. They talk to me about their family. Like I know guys. Man, I know a guy, I'm fixing his guitar right now, who he was having some chest pains and went to the doctor and went to the ER in the middle of the night because he was having some, he thought he was having some bad heartburn.
Panic attack?
Yeah. No. His heart was stopping.
Oh,
and
wow.
he was like 10 minutes from dying. So now he's like happy and fine, and I'm fixing his guitar. And so it's, these people come in and they talk to me about all this stuff. So I'm not saying by any means am I an expert, but I do hear a lot of what people are complaining about and what they're saying and a lot of what they are hoping for in the area. And a lot of it really boils down to the fact that they hate other artists, hate them. It's like a catch-22. It's like they're going to hate everybody because they're not liked.
Right.
But you're not liked because you hate people.
Exactly.
Like you're toxic, so nobody wants to give people a toxic gig, or nobody wants to do that around. You got to be wanting people to come in, and you have to be helping other out. Like people like Brian, man. Brian is one of my favorite artists down here in the area. Like he says, he doesn't use a booking agent, but it's because he does other things.
Yes.
He's found his niche, and he loves his niche. My God, that dude is more supportive of the local music scene, like the original artist.
The hardest working original artist in this area
for
as long as I've known.
Like, man, like he is just a beacon of light. You know what I mean? Like, it's just awesome to see somebody
musically and personally, by the way, Brian, a beacon of light. Every time I see you, man.
You're getting lots of love over here, Brian. But it's
that's actually really cool too. The one thing by having a full-time job lets him put other people on the shows, which allows him to hear other people play and also allows fan bases to cross-pollinate.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Brain.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. This guy right here is he lives by example, and that's kind of what we all need to start doing.
Right.
And it's people like this, and there's multiple people like Brian. Brian's not alone, and that's what I love about it is that he's becoming. It's becoming more common to be like that. And the fact that they're doing these awesome things with zero recognition, they don't really care. They're just wanting the music scene to survive, and they want it to be healthy, and they're wanting to help others produce these things. That's how scenes like Austin and Nashville and all these scenes that everybody wants to go to, that's how they work.
Right.
They don't work because everybody hates each other. They work because there's 10 people in a line right here waiting to play, and everybody's like, high five, yeah, that was awesome, keep going, yeah, woohoo, let's
Right.
do it, let's keep going. Hey,
Support
you want a jam
system.
layer? Like I want to get in touch with you, let's hang out. That's how it's done. That is
Right.
how you support a scene, and that is how you create a healthy music scene. And people like Scott, BJ, all these other guys that are booking these,
Yeah.
they're altering the way that they book because they want to help the scene. They want to help you. They want to help
Right.
me. They want to help the guys that don't book with them. They're helping everybody, and it's nice to see everybody kind of changing their mindset. They're seeing, hey, there's more money to be made. There's more money to be, or there's more music to be produced in a healthy music scene, and that means everybody gets to be a musician as a job instead of just a choice few.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the point. You shouldn't be mad at somebody for getting to where you want to be. You should be happy for them,
Right.
because they're going to help you.
And I was talking to somebody about this the other night at Bourbon Street about how what a time to be alive, where people can actually make a living and an honest living doing this.
It has never been easier to be an independent artist.
What a time to be alive, man. Now people are actually monetarily respected for their art.
It's
There's
awesome.
never been a time like this. And yeah, there's enough gigs to go around.
More than enough.
There's more than enough gigs to go around. And I hear you about bringing in road bands and stuff like that.
I'm down with that too.
I wouldn't no, I just literally just said I'm all about bringing road bands in and stuff like that. When
Yeah,
I
they're
drive
not.
by House of Blues and I see blah 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 tribute and blah 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 tribute and blah 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 tribute, that's a little disheartening. I want to see actual bands come through here and do stuff like that. And like
All right.
the places that we play don't necessarily cater to
Outside gigs. Yeah, a lot of the gigs that we have are cover gigs, and so
Right.
what you're saying is outside bands and outside agents coming into the beach. That's incredibly okay. That's actually
Yeah.
supported by a lot of artists, I think.
Indeed.
But the thing is that those opinions are not mutually exclusive.
exactly.
You can have outside bands coming into Myrtle Beach, and we can bring people in and still have a incredibly healthy, active music scene here with local
And
agents.
we do. Like we have people like the High Beams that come through and they hit Creek Rats.
And they're great.
And Bubba's. And
What, Rochambeau's from Columbia? They're from out of town, I think?
right. We've got a Crash Box that come from Wilmington down.
There's lots of bands that come down here. Alex Honeycutt's a solo artist from Greenville that comes down
Yeah.
here. Like, there's lots of people that come down, and it's not just local artists that get gigs. And,
Yes.
and it's becoming more often that outside artists become. But I mean, I agree with Steve. It's not often that people from outside have gotten gigs, but it's starting
Right.
to become more often, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it
not
a
only
healthier
that,
scene.
not only that, a lot of folks don't like the agent scene.
Yeah.
They don't like the agent driven scene, but that's how that's how this area works.
Well-
and I think that if you want to share your art and you don't want to go through the hoops that we had to go through, then I don't feel like you want it as much as we did, you know?
Well, it's not even that. I don't think it's about not wanting it. I think it's you want something different.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Because
you're right.
I think
You're right.
people want things very, like, you could want something like I know somebody who has no desire to write any music whatsoever. The creative side of music doesn't interest him, but the physical side of learning all the scales, getting it into it, learning all that stuff,
Yeah.
he thoroughly enjoys. The active physical side of playing
Right.
guitar, he really enjoys. And that makes me so sad.
Then they never put anything out of their own.
They're closed the door to just an entire other side of.
Absolutely. They're from Columbia, Brian.
Oh yeah, yeah, all those bands. But he has closed the door to the other half of music. Like, there's an industry side and there's the physical side. There's all the stuff that kind of sucks, and then there's the artist side that most people want to do.
Right.
But he looks at that as the negative and then looks at the other side as the positive. It's a very strange thing, and I think a lot of people they close themselves off to one side or the other. If they are an artist, like I call them artists, because they're the more creative sides. They're the guys that care only about being creative and putting out original music, or care about that more often.
Right.
And then the guys that want to do the cover gigs, they want to do them as a a job. They want to do it. They want to play
Right.
music as a living. They can go out and they can cover gigs, and you can do it on autopilot. You know as well as I do. You can get in there. You learn G, C, D, E minor, A. Boom, done.
Yeah, a lot of those
50
gigs,
songs.
where you're punching a clock, that's what it is.
And that's kind of, like your mental health suffers a little bit with that. But as long as you have some coping mechanisms that, you get out, due day, things like that.
Yeah.
You actually have a thing. I personally am working on like a original project. That's how I do that. I gig full time and I write on Mondays. That's kind of how we do it. And it works for me, but the best part about being an artist is that it can be different for everybody.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be the same way.
Every person's path to the destination is different.
Yeah,
the destination is similar.
Yeah, and whether you use an agent or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you want to put in the hustle or not, it doesn't matter. It's all different, and hating on people for doing one way or the other, really is just negative and really just cuts down yourself and them.
Yeah, and if I have to choose this, or if I have to choose this, and by this I mean having someone else tell me where to go, having someone book all of my gigs, and having someone say, hey, can, you for 60% of your show play cover songs that the crowd wants to hear. Throw them in some of your originals too. I'm not telling you not to do that, but play your covers. If I have to do that so that I don't have to start cutting grass again or then guess what I'm going to do?
It's all about your choice and about what you want. It's not about how much you want. It's just what you want and what you're willing to do to get what you want.
Exactly.
I'm willing to go out and play those cover gigs. I'm willing to work all day in the shop, and I'm willing to say that that's what I want to do.
Right.
And basically, I've tricked everybody into thinking I'm working.
Right? We have fooled all of these people into thinking that we're actually putting in effort.
That's the game. You want to trick everybody into thinking you're working. Little do they know, I was playing music and fixing guitars for free at my house by myself. Like all my stuff.
Yes. But just like that thing that I shared on Facebook the other day, whenever you get the invoice, you're not paying for the 30 minutes it took me to do this job. You're paying for the years it took me to learn how to do this job that quickly in that 30 minutes.
Yes, sir. And that's why I think people like coming to me for their guitar stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I've been doing it a long time. I mean, it's just kind of like I really enjoy it. Like I love guitars. You know what I mean? And I love the instruments and I want them to play good. And I think, or play well, sorry. That's how I hope people come to me because of that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. Nobody's told me that, but I hope people do because I love it. As well as I hope people book me because I thoroughly enjoy playing music. And, and I don't care if somebody says, hey, you got to play this, you got to play this, you got to play this. I'm like, cool, man. Can I put my spin on it?
Right, that's the thing, and like I'm saying, and I think you might be misunderstanding what I'm saying, Steve. I'm not saying that any agent is controlling my set list. That's not what I'm saying.
Nobody does that.
I'm just, if I'm not an idiot, I know what my job is. If I'm playing, it's a job. I know what my job is, and my job is to make this room have a good time, to help. To assist this room in having a good time.
If you go to the Grumpy Monk and think you're a rock star, you're dumb.
Right.
You're going to go up there and you are the most interesting wallpaper they have ever had, but that's what it's going to be. Those people are there to sit down and eat dinner, glance up every once in a while and say, hey, that was a good tune.
You're not on the totem pole of importance in these people's night, you're not up there. I'm sure it's that refill of drink or you're that burger that you're eating. You're playing second fiddle to dinner, dude.
And that's okay.
And I don't mind that. And a lot of people I've had, well, I ain't never doing that gig again. Fuck that. They don't appreciate me being there. And I'm like, okay, but this is our job.
You don't love going to work every day.
Right.
Nobody does. And that's the thing is people don't understand is that there's a difference between being an artist and being a working musician.
Yeah.
If you want to be a working musician, there's going to be 10, 20 days out of the month. You're going to hate having those gigs.
Right, yeah.
But everybody hates going to work.
Yes.
And if I have to choose between sitting in an office and being miserable and not being outside and not seeing the sunlight for 8 hours, or I get to go and play a guitar next to the inlet for
Yeah.
4, maybe 5. Oh no. I gotta play Wagon Wheel. Oh no.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna complain about that. That sounds like a freaking dream.
I'm not gonna do it.
When I was 12 years old and thinking about being a musician, that's what I imagined doing. I have to remind
Right.
myself, this is what I asked for. Like,
Dude, every single time that I'm out doing that stuff, I'm like, I think about a lot of my friends and a lot of I think about a lot of my friends, and I'm like, how many of my friends are doing the thing that they set out to do when they were a kid? And I'm that person.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I wanted to do. I'm doing what I set out to do.
People forget
and
that.
I don't have anybody controlling my set list. I had somebody to suggest, hey, if you want to continue to get the phone to ring in this area, this is how to do it. And I listened to them.
It's awesome.
And you know what? The phone rings constantly. And there are times when there are gigs that can't be done because there's not space for it. And you wanted to be Ace Frehley. Live freely, man.
It's okay, man.
Ace just wants to be back in the band, man.
I wanted to be
Ace
Travis.
just wants to be back in Kiss.
Yeah, I wanted to be Travis Barker. That's who I wanted to be when I was drumming growing up.
I think I wanted to be Carter Beauford.
Oh, that's a good one. I can dig that.
That was the whole thing. There was a time when I didn't play any other instrument but drums. But I can't do it anymore, man.
No?
I mean, I can, but it's not like that's the sort of thing that if you don't stay on it, if you don't stay on that, I got a super cheap drum set back there. But I've noticed the thing with me is that my legs are so long, I have to like use that stool.
All right, giant.
Dude, look at me.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you're tall.
Yeah.
It's mostly legs. All right, I get it.
Yeah, like I got super long legs, and just like if I'm sitting down on a drum throne and my knees are higher than my hips, that's bad for drums.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hold on. We digress, but I have to say this.
Yeah.
I feel like our conversation has been saying that a lot of people are negative in this area, but it's not like that at all.
Yeah. No, we that's not what we're saying.
This scene is actually way more positive than it's ever been.
Yep.
And I see more people in the shop being positive about their scene and about their bands, being incredibly excited about gigs and excited to help other people with gigs and working with other musicians. I mean, a brand new studio in Myrtle or in Polly's just opened up that's trying to bring in outside artists to this area. They're trying to help the scene become a little bit more diverse by bringing in other people. I think Mission Control or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they've stopped in my studio a bunch of times, and the shop, and we've helped them out a good bit. And they're awesome guys out there trying to help out. So this scene, I don't want anybody to get the impression that I think this scene is negative, because it's the exact opposite.
Yeah. There's a lot of positivity around here.
Yeah, it's just the people that do complain, they're the ones, or not complain, but the ones that do something to be negative, are mad, or they undercut somebody, or, they talk crap about somebody, anything like that. They're the ones that complain the most.
Yeah.
And so that's what you hear. You know what I mean? Like when guys come in and they're like, hey, how's your day? And they're like, cool, just buying some strings. Cool, man, where are you playing? Wherever.
Yeah.
Cool, man, how's that gig? Actually, man, I really love it. This summer's been really good.
Yeah.
People have been tipping me really well. Like, the band's been playing cool. Like, everybody's kind of been in a good mood. The heat sucks, but we've all just been trying to push through. You're like,
dude, I've been playing gigs in shorts.
I love it, man. Like, it's just my favorite gig in the world, and I think everybody is starting to realize that too. They're starting to have fun with playing music.
Brian Rossler, wisdom here. Our job at a restaurant is threefold. 1, keep the staff happy. 2, if it's busy, is to keep shit pleasant but low key for diners as they shuffle in and out on a busy night. And 3, get people to stay there for dessert or an extra drink or 3 on a slower night. That's absolutely right.
Absolutely, man. That's, without a doubt, that's exactly right.
Free advertisement, huh?
Well, that's kind of like my rules that I said the other day. Yeah, I'm looking at it on Facebook so that I can actually say it right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 rules for myself, and these are, I don't want to paraphrase because I said them right here. Art is not a competition, and if you think otherwise, you are wrong.
Yep.
End of story. I don't care what anybody thinks. It's not a competition.
Yep.
And my second one, which other people have said, to add on to this one, but my second one is art is supposed to be fun. Even the hard parts, even all this stuff, you're working through your different scales, you're trying to push through things, learn something new, setting up, all this stuff like this. That stuff sucks, man.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
does.
like Mary Poppins said, man, just make it a freaking game. Like,
Right.
have fun with it. Like, do something, do anything to make it. It sucks. And I don't care if you think that's pedestrian or stupid or goofy. I don't care. I have fun. And it sucks whenever I book a duo or something and I have somebody sit in with me and I'm like at the end of the gig, they're like, thanks, man, that was really, really fun. And I'm like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
thanks. Like, it's supposed to be. And then they're like, well, yeah, but it hasn't been like that lately. And I'm like, who are you playing with? What is going on? Why are you not having fun playing music? That's the whole point I got into it. It was fun in the first place. Why would you lose that? And people forget that. It's supposed to be fun. Even the cover gigs.
Yes.
Make them fun.
What's the game you play whenever you have to?
Like whenever I set up?
No. Like, what's the game you play whenever you're playing a gig and you're like, you've had it happen in the middle of a gig, just drop off, and you're like, okay,
and it's terrible.
Now I have to make this interesting.
Yeah.
What game do you play?
So I'll really change up the song genres. I'll right off the top of my head. Like I'll do like Sex and Candy, but I'll do it like
Hanging round.
No. I'll do it like Lana Del Rey, slow and like
Hanging around
downtown by myself. Yeah, like real weird. And then like people are like, what the hell's going on? And then they'll start paying attention and then you start changing it back up and you start doing it and then you'll do TLC and then you do Drake and then you do Aaliyah and you start doing all my hip hop and R&B stuff, D'Angelo and stuff.
You have a shitload of hip hop. Like, and I thought I had a pretty good bit, but you've got
pick up the world and do stuff like that. And people look at me. I don't look like I know any of that stuff, but it's some of my favorite music in the world. Like I'll throw out Lauryn Hill. She's one of my all-time favorite artists, and I'll start playing like really any of her songs.
I've been doing Killing Me Softly lately.
Oh, nice.
I've been doing that one. I've been doing
the old one, like the original one, or hers?
Well, hers, but
it's way groovier.
Well, I don't do it. I don't know. I think I present it like the old one.
Yeah.
But I do the all those stuff that she does.
Yeah.
I try to do. Yeah, I don't do that. No. Wyclef can keep that. He's the only one that can get away with it. I feel like that if you have a hype man that isn't Wyclef, what are you doing with your life?
That's the way it goes.
Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, he's the only hype man.
I've been playing some Sublime, but I've been doing them a little different lately. I turned Santeria into a ballad. I do Bad Fish, like...
Is it like...
No, it's not quite like that. Like, it's just a little slower, and it's like Americana, like... I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. I had $1 million, but I spent it all. And it kind of goes like that, and it has a little bit more jazzier.
That's sick. That's like a postmodern jukebox.
Yeah, like seven
spin.
chords.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, do something a little different, and that's kind of how I've been coping with like all these boring rooms because as I do, they'll die out, and you're sitting there and you're like, all right, I'm gonna have fun with this. So I'll do something ridiculous. I'm like, I've been working on this one. Like I've been working on Turn Your Lights Down Low, Bob Marley. But I'm not doing it like Lauryn Hill did it. Like, I'm doing it like old Bob Marley acoustic, that radio recording he had of like whatever on the table and it's just him and an acoustic guitar. I'm doing like that one. And I'm really excited about pulling that out because I'm doing stuff a little different. I'm really excited about that one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so you find different ways to cope at the gigs, and that's how you got to try to have fun. Even if you don't succeed, you got to try to do something. Come up with anything. Even it's like, I want to see how fast I can set up and tear down. I got it down to I can leave a venue in 11 minutes in my car.
Dude.
11 minutes, dude. From the last song, boom, thank you, sir. Pack up in my car, 11 minutes.
Dude, that's pretty solid.
But it's a game. I was like, in the beginning, I want
to
see how fast I can do it. I want to see how fast I can set up. You make it fun. You do these stupid things, and it's just, everyday monotonous things just to make it fun. It's supposed to be good. You know what I mean? Like we forget that it's just playing guitar.
Right. That's the thing. Like, because I'm a puzzles guy. I love puzzles.
The bar or the
No, like actual puzzles.
Oh, okay.
Like puzzles. I make like, so I figured out methods of doing these things, like Tetris. Like I can pack things into a vehicle better than most folks.
That's what I did when I worked for Disney. Like, I packed the trucks.
Dude, it's I guess it's a certain brain you have to have, and you've got that, dude. So my method of when we get to a gig and things to bring out first, and Adam will grab something, I'll be like, that doesn't go yet.
Like, hold on, you gotta wait.
It's coming out. And he's like, well, what's it really going to matter? And I'm like, dude, just having that sitting on stage is in the way. Like, we don't need it yet.
He's right. It doesn't matter because it's all going in the same spot. But at the same time, if it goes in a certain progression, it's like PEMDAS, like you do math a certain way.
Right.
You're going to get to the same ending, but you do it a certain way because it works just kind of easier.
Yes. Like, this is just, trust me, I've weighed all the other options. This is the best way to do this.
Man, and if you have I know OCD is a very real situation.
Oh, yeah.
But if you have a little bit of it, and you have you have to do things a certain way every once in a while, it really does help to have yourself organized and everything. I have a cart that gets packed the exact same way every time.
Me too.
My car gets packed the exact same way every time.
Same here.
I have everything. My guitar looks like everything is exactly the same whenever I open my case.
Yep.
There's just a certain way I do
when
things.
you need one cable, you can grab that one cable, and that's all that comes out.
And you do things for you, and it doesn't work like that for everybody. And that's kind of why it's not a competition.
Yes,
this is a very low level. Versus like a level 1 version of, hey, this isn't a competition.
Right.
Yo, it's cool if that fan doesn't have to come in right now. Chill.
Yeah.
That fan can come in like 10 minutes. It would just sit on stage and be in my way while I'm trying to carry in the speakers.
Right.
I got the subwoofer. Come on, man. Just give me 2 minutes.
Like, just trust me. Just.
Yeah, my bandmates do it too, and it's just because they're not like that, it's not their fault, and I'm not.
Do they like make jokes about it, about you, about that, like Adam and Smitty would do to me?
Well, they just. Whenever we get to the car, they just wait for me.
Adam more so.
They
Adam's like
stuff in my car because they're like.
It's to the point now to where people and you have it too. People will walk up, mainly drunk people walk up. You guys need any help carrying and stuff? Yeah. No, we do not.
No, thank you so much.
And then, really but now they'll blame it on me. And I told Adam and Smitty, I was like, I don't care, blame it on me. Tell them. I know that we don't want this guy who apparently has a great voice to come up and sing that we don't know. So just blame that on me. Mm-hmm. Tell them that I said no.
Last time we let somebody sing for us, they paid us $300 a Hot Fish Club, and it was a wedding party, and their 3 sons wanted to play Sweet Home by Alabama. We got paid $300 to watch these 3 boys get up there and suck.
Worth every penny.
It was awesome, dude. I gave all
because then you're a breath of fresh air.
I gave them a high five, and I was like, "Hey man, how long you been playing guitar?" And he was like, 6 months."
That's right.
And he was like, "Heck yeah, man." It was awesome. All right, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. In the summer, you do have to plug in the fan first, otherwise you're going to die of. Oh, I don't put that stuff on you. That's not even true. You don't even do that. Zach is the one that sits there and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to put this stuff in the car unless Austin's here." He's all afraid to take anything out or anything.
But you know what? I would like that. I prefer that. Just
that's okay.
because.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not for everybody.
And here's the thing, too, is just random. I know that I will grab everything the right way every time. We did a gig in a weekend in Boone one time. And on the way there.
Up at the winery?
No.
Like Banner Elk area?
We did AMB. App Mountain Brewery, Appalachian Mountain Brewery.
Yeah.
And then we did the Sky Bar.
And
Twigs in Blowing Rock.
Yeah. That's where I went to school up there. That's why I asked. That's where I went to college.
Okay. So. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think we talked about that. That's right.
Yeah, up there at Lee's McCrae, man. It was awesome.
That's right. But yeah, we did that, and I wasn't the one that loaded up the stuff into the truck.
Oh, so it's all different.
No, the brain... Always, you see how this is sitting?
Yeah.
Exact. Every single time.
Every time, yeah.
Every single time. The brain sits on top of these speakers.
Yeah.
When I pick up these speakers, the brain goes under my arm, and I carry it just like that.
Yeah.
Well, Smitty picked them up and put these in there, and the brain kind of fell off of them and into my trunk. And we realized about halfway to Boone that we didn't have the brain for the bows. So I'm like, I don't mean to be this way.
Okay.
Just like to them, I'm like, I don't mean to be this way. Just there's a reason why I touched this.
Accidents happen, and we understand, and you can't be mad at somebody because an accident happens.
Right.
But it does. That's when you say, "Hey, man, can we just let me do this?"
Well, we're there now for sure.
Now. I'm not being a jerk. I'm gonna freak out if I don't do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not you, it's me.
Right.
I just need you to know
absolutely.
that. And I don't know. Being in a band is always like that. You always get kind of stuff. This band I'm in now, and I have to say, I have been incredibly lucky to be in bands with some really, really, really cool people. And whenever we've been on tour, and whenever we're going to shows and stuff, it's just nothing but fun. And it's a good time, and everybody's playing, and even the boring gigs, we're all sitting up there, mediocrely getting through the songs kind of thing, trying our best, to get it through because we hate it, and it's hot and it's terrible in the middle of the sun, and, you're going through. Even those gigs, we try to find a way to have fun. I would rather be playing with those guys than anybody else, man.
Oh yeah,
I love my bandmates. It's awesome. Like even the ones that I'm not currently in bands with, like the ones that I had, like those dudes are awesome, man. I would love to play music with them anytime they want. We are cornbread. Just any time that you play with a band for a really long time, it's like just spending too much time together. But we've got this really cool thing now to where I've got the podcast, Smitty's got art, Adam's got his deal. Yeah, and Smitty's art's killer too.
He's killing it. Yeah. He's killing it. Smitty painted his Hank right here, but yeah, he's got his thing going. The one right here.
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and Matt can pack a vehicle very well. McKinley Devilbus, he can mack a vehicle. Sorry, I had to. That was a terrible joke.
I saw him at Walmart the other day, and I was just walking around, like just stony baloney around Walmart, walking around. And I walked past him and went to the other side of Walmart, and then I passed him again coming back, and I was like, there ain't nothing good that way. Don't worry, there ain't nothing good over there.
I was hanging out with him. I'm actually going to go hang out with him after this.
Right on, man.
That's whose house I'm recording at. Our original project, man. I'm so excited about it. We're doing it, and it's like every Monday we go over there and we record our stuff. Like we set up like a time, like we got fed up with just sitting on top of all this original project stuff, and like we're the only one that can hear it because we're the only one that can play it.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I want to put it out so I can actually hear it. And then so we've been going over to his. He's been awesome enough to like let us come over there and use his stuff. Like we have his like all of his equipment and everything.
Yeah.
Turned out freaking great, man. We did a bluegrass tune. He was
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, it's freaking fun, man. It's nice to have a set time to go out and like really be like, yo, I'm about to record my music. Look, speak of the Devilbus right there.
I see you in here.
Speak of the Devilbus. But since he's on here, let me just say he's one of the worst musicians I've ever seen play, and no one should ever hire him again. Nah, Max killer. Everybody should want that.
Listen,
in his band. That dude's ridiculous.
Listen, in the pocket doesn't describe it.
I know, right? It's stupid. It sounded funny. We were in the studio actually. We were laying down something, and we were like, okay, let's just see how this is going to turn out. So we were putting down nasty acoustic tracks, bad drum track and everything, and we laid it down.
Yeah.
And it was sounding all right, and then Mac, he was like, all right, I'm going to throw in just a whatever bass track, and he started going in, and Panda, I was sitting there, Zach sitting there, we're all sitting there, and he was like, threw it down, and immediately we were like, the hell's this pocket come from? Like, Jesus, you were just like freaking killing it. And it was like one run through, done, click, done. I was like,
professional.
All right, making me not want to play music anymore.
Professional.
So, but anyway,
those are my favorite artists. The ones that make you want to come home and throw all your shit in the dumpster.
Well, but
I love those guys.
But those are my friends, so I can't help but talk like nothing but awesome things about them. I just think they're all like
Oh,
the
yeah.
best musicians in the world. I just, like I said, there's there's nobody else I'd rather be playing
Yeah.
music with than my friends, and I don't
Yeah,
care
absolutely.
if I'm currently in a band with them or not.
Exactly. But and I don't want to be misunderstood with what I
Sorry.
was just saying a while ago. But like, just having that thing, once you've done this thing for 10 years, it's almost like a relationship, where like
Yeah.
you have
You
to
get
throw
married.
something weird in to keep it kinky, to keep it fun.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm so glad that we sort of found that method in Cornbread, to where we know that we all three have something
Yeah.
major that we do
a lot.
outside of that.
And it's a lot of fun too. And that's kind of the point of it.
Yeah, that really takes a lot of the pressure off of our, relationship.
That's good because you are married.
Absolutely, it's a marriage. It really is.
At one point, we had bank account together. All five of us
Yeah.
guys, we had a bank account for the band, man. When we were doing like Incredibly Tall People, like we basically were married. Like our finances were attached to each other, and we were going hard at it, man. And that's kind of the at some points, like in every band, you get to have a relationship like that with them. And unless you really dive in with a bunch of musicians for an extended period of time, it's kind of strange because I'm about to get real hippy-dippy philosophical about music real quick, but it gets really intimate.
Yeah.
Like musically, like you start to learn subtle things about the way they play and like their tones and like different things, whether it's the bass player or whether it's the guitar player, the drummer, the keyboard player, the singer. Like you
hear where they're
hear
going.
where they're going, and you can predict it because it's like you're all on the exact same page. And
Right.
and it gets really intimate. Like it's crazy. Like I did not steal your money. Did not steal any
I'll
money
just
from
have it.
anybody.
I'll just have it on record that I have nenever been in a band with a joint bank account.
Really?
Never.
Really? We were doing Incredibly Tall People. We were trying to do it like 100% full fledged, and we had a bank account together. We were doing it was legit, man. I've never been in a band like more legit. And
That sounds very legit.
and even when I was in Jukebox Ellie with Justin Jordan and Sean and all them, it was very well managed, and so it's really nice to
Right.
like these people want to manage their music very well, and it's nice to. Justin Jordan, if you haven't ever had the pleasure of seeing him play, he plays at church now out there. But he's one of the better bass players in the area. He can sing and play bass at the same time.
Yeah.
That I can't
Tough.
do. That's tough to do. I can't play like that. And when we were running the band, that dude just freaking managed the hell out of that thing. It was awesome. Everything was like
He seemed
spot
very well organized.
on. It inspired me to want to get my crap together, man. Like it was awesome. Like it makes me. It's like how I run my solo stuff in the band now. Like
I've noticed you started shaving better after then. Yeah.
Well, working at the shop, I
Yeah.
deal with a lot of churches and I deal with a lot of pastors and stuff, and I just thought they would feel more comfortable if I didn't look like a hobo anymore.
I hear you.
I thoroughly enjoy my larger beard, and it's definitely coming back. But I
I cut too much off of mine the other
I know.
day,
Don't you
man.
hate it when that happens? You sit there and
Yeah,
just,
I was upset.
It's the worst.
Oh, well.
It's okay.
It'll grow back.
It's coming back. But yeah, so I've straightened up a little bit and I've done stuff. But as you can see, I'm the exact same person.
Yes.
And nothing has changed. It's just the outside kind of appearance a little
Right.
bit changed. And I still play the same music. I still play with the same people. I still do the same kind of stuff. I just manage my time a little bit differently. And I try to have fun with all my stuff. And I
Yeah.
no longer hate the world around me. I'm not pissed because I didn't get that gig. And I'm not pissed because I'm playing till 2 a.m. And I'm not mad like I'm tired. And I'm mad that I got to drive. But I'm not mad because I got the gig or anything. I'm excited that I get to play the gig.
That's newer concept to me.
Yeah.
Just in recent months, or I would say recent years now. I've been saying months for so long. I don't think that time passes. But yeah, in recent years, I've really been trying to get to the point to where, I could be still cutting grass.
Yeah.
I could be still doing some shitty, like,
I could still be cooking at Carrabba's, man.
yeah. Which, by the way, shout out Spaghetti. My dad, I love my dad to death. He goes to Carrabba's and orders spaghetti. I'm like, bro, come on, man. The spaghetti's delicious everywhere, but like, just step out, man. Get some chicken marsala.
Chicken Brian, that's what's up there.
Yeah, man. But anyway, sorry, Dad.
Shout out Spaghetti.
Yeah, shout out Spaghetti.
Hey, man.
I do love karamas.
No,
but no,
like,
seriously, yeah.
like we're talking about, you could be doing something much worse, and it's very, very incredibly easy to forget
right.
that we get to play music. It's not that
Yes.
you have to play music. You get to play music. You
Yep.
you chose to do this. You chose to learn to play whatever instrument that you
Right.
wanted to do, and then now you're choosing to go get the gig, and now you're choosing to learn those songs. Like, you're choosing
Yep.
to do all this stuff, and then when you get there, you're complaining. You're like, what are you complaining about? This is exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, we've all made this choice.
Yeah, and
if we're doing
and
this,
that's at every level. It's from signing up for guitar lessons, like at the very, very beginning, and showing up and actually going to guitar lessons, saying,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I wanted, and sitting there and pushing through the hurt on top of those fingers, all the way to the top where you're booking huge gigs. Like,
right.
you have to remind yourself, this is like, don't get caught up in the whole I hate everything and this is suck, this is what's going on. You're literally playing music, man.
Right.
Like, figure out, like, it doesn't matter if you're unhappy right now, figure out a way to enjoy it. It's yours. Like,
By the
it's
way,
literally you.
It is. By the way, when I'm in gigs and I'm getting to that point, the game that I play is I'll look around the room and I'll pick somebody that looks like they're having the worst time and I play to them.
That's cool.
I look around the room and I'm very observant, and it's easy to be observant from a stage because a lot of people don't know. There's a lot of people who don't want to look at you because you're on the stage,
And they don't want to make eye contact.
Right.
That's the funniest thing when, like,
It's
a
easy to
random
watch
dad
people 'cause
makes
they-
eye contact with me, and they're like,
Right.
look around.
Right.
Like, oh, what was that? Nothing there. You're inside.
Yeah. And I think that's an innate fear of maybe just people are scared to be noticed.
Yeah.
People are just scared to be noticed. But like I'll look around the room, and like I said, it's easy to be observant from up there because nobody really wants to look at you. They just want to, they just want to do their thing. And I try to find the person who seems to be having the worst time, and I'll maybe play to them.
Mm-hmm. Steve's right. The only thing he hates is the hangover. Those suck.
You know what? I don't have any more Steve Blevins.
Me either, dude.
Hangovers.
It feels great to not have them anymore, doesn't it?
You know what? I don't. Yeah, but I guess I was never really hungover because I was just always drunk. Like, I was always drunk. Like, I would
That's
have to
how
go.
I was when I was on tour, man.
I would have to go take a couple shots and before I got on the road because I had to shake so bad. I was scared to drive.
Dude, that's what it is. It's bad when it gets to that point, man, and it's really cool to see that you've stuck to it. And it's difficult. It's not an easy thing to do. And
Sponsored by Screwball Whiskey, ladies and gentlemen. That's KREW Ball
What's
Whiskey.
up? Drink responsibly. But that's kind of the whole thing, and it's sometimes you can't, sometimes you don't.
Right.
And that's okay. The good part is that as if you can recognize it and you can actively help yourself and you can, pick yourself off the ground and say, hey, I'm going to do this and do it. And,
right.
And man, and I commend you 100% for doing that. I think you're a wonderful
appreciate
person.
that.
And I think you're kicking ass, man.
I appreciate that.
Hell yeah, dude.
But
showing some love. Anyway.
But
sorry, we digress.
No, but like all of these things that come with being in a band for a long time.
Well, I think it's any artist.
Yeah.
Whether you're a painter, whether you're sculpt clay or whatever you're doing, you're being really vulnerable and you're putting yourself out there, and that leaves itself to a lot of, honestly, mental health problems. Like,
right.
like to be just blatant,
really
like,
does.
straight. Like, it leaves itself to a lot of depression and a lot of really terrible, vulnerable situations. There's a lot of rejection in this world. I mean, that's kind of the whole issue that we're having that conversation with bands not liking other bands and
right.
stuff like that is because they're mad, and it's more than likely because of something
Some
going on
place of
themselves.
jealousy.
Jealousy or something inside of themselves, and that's not healthy for them. And that's really what they should be looking at is like, even if you don't necessarily want to support an original music scene or you don't want to support a cover music scene, doesn't matter.
Yes.
Be healthy for yourself and stop hating the rest of the music industry around you because they want you to succeed. Most of my guys that come into my shop, they want me to succeed. And I have this job and that job. Like, they want me to succeed. They want you to succeed. And everybody is wanting, all the booking agents, they want all of us to succeed. I want them to succeed. They're doing stuff good. All the venues are starting to do stuff good.
Yes.
Like people at the Pit, Hot Fish Club, Bubba's, all these places, they're wanting more different bands to come in and they're allowing us to play better songs. They want us to have a good time. They want the band to be good. It's starting to get like in a healthy music scene again. And that's kind of what's happening. And that's what a lot of people don't see is that they're getting caught up in their own self-doubt.
Right. And not only that, I think that a lot of people are judging maybe an entire...
I mean, and I could be making generalizations as well.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what a lot of folks are doing is just making generalizations of the whole scene when it's not...
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it's not one person's fault that maybe they might not be getting a gig they think they deserve. Yeah. It's just simply, I don't know, man. It's taken a very long time. This didn't happen overnight for any of us. Mm-mm. It's taken how many years have you been just building your name around this area? Forever, right?
Yeah, I mean, since as far back as I can remember.
Right.
And then I was set back because I moved away with Disney for a while and then came back, and it was even harder then. I got lucky because my friends were like, come on. Like, they've been doing hard work, and they kind of let me ride their coattails a hot minute, like, until I got my feet back, which was incredibly nice of them, too.
Yeah.
But that's what it's about.
Yes.
That example right there, like, I know I am, not necessarily I'm a charity case, but I was given an opportunity because people saw that and they were like, hey, man, hey, we want you to come in and like do this kind of stuff. We know you're going to come in and do stuff. You're our friend. We want to, but you're out of the way. Let's do it. And I'm wanting to help other people. You're wanting to help other people. Other people are wanting to help other people. And instead of like, but if you come at me and you're mad because somebody has a gig, I'm not going to shoot you towards another gig.
Exactly.
Like, why? Because you're just going to go there and talk crap about other people or me. Like, why would I do that? Like,
if you do that to me, then why wouldn't you do that to other people?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, everybody has that person that talks crap about other people to you.
Yeah.
Well, you know that they talk crap about you to other people, and that's okay. It's just that person likes to sip the tea, like, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And especially down here in the South. But as soon as you start to understand that bands are made up of multiple people and they all have issues going on, and so even solo artists has tons of stuff going on, you don't have to be mad at that one person. You can understand that person got the gig and that band is doing hard and they've all been working and cumulative of like 40 years worth of music to put that together, that one song. Like, because it could be 5 people that have been playing for 20 years each, And then you get together and you're mad at them because they got the gig at SBB when you were looking for it. Well, that's okay. There's tons of other gigs to go around, and there's lots of other spaces. You just have to put yourself out. And times, and the way I don't know if other people do it like this, but until my gig is confirmed, like, that date's open.
Right.
And I'll book. Like, if somebody wants to tell me, hey, like, if I go down to wherever, a random venue, and they say, hey, we have the 18th open, then I had already offered to the other people, but they haven't confirmed. If they sit here and they say, you are booked on this date, and we sign my W-9 or a contract like that, boom.
Yeah, I mean,
that's that gig. I will call that person immediately and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm no longer available on this date. If you have another date that you would like for me to play, please let me know. Yeah. But the problem is a lot of people put their eggs in one basket. They think if they want to play, like a lot of blues bands or a lot of rock groups, they want to play Bike Week.
Yes.
So they only go and they try to book the bike stuff. Like they want to book the biking gigs. Okay, well, there's multiple spots to book the biking gigs. You don't have to play SBB. You don't have to play, those venues and stuff. You can look otherwhere else. And a lot of people are just, they put their eggs in one basket. And you don't have to.
I like to look at everyone in the music scene as pieces of cloth. The musicians, the venues, the fans, everyone. People who see it as a hierarchy will see a tower of cloth that I'll never stand. That will never stand. Mm-hmm. People who see it as a collective will turn it into a quilt with the whole thing able to comfort and support. Man, what a beautiful brain.
Yeah, see, Brian, that's a really good way to look at it, because that's very similar to the way I see it.
The great Brian Rossler, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a like I said, he's a beacon of light in this industry.
Are people still literally talking about the Area 51 thing?
Yeah, they're still talking about it. They're still going. It's not September yet. But Brian's right. It is a tapestry. It's basically like this. You got one rug, right?
Right. Yeah.
And Myrtle Beach is the music scene of that rug. Okay, well, it's a billion different colors. It doesn't have to be up and down. It doesn't have to be like, there's no topography. It's just a tapestry of random colors on the wall and every single one's completely different with different designs and all doing different kind of things. And not a single one is above the rest. And that's kind of what I mean when I say art is not a competition. What you do as an original artist and as a cover artist is completely separate and non-exclusive to what I do. Like you can do whatever you want to do, and it has zero effect on me.
We could do this. We could all do the same song, and it'll come out different.
And that's the best part about it, man. You cannot play the song exactly the same ever again, and people forget that. They're like, "Oh, I want to do it like this." That's great. This is very strict, and me personally, it's not for me. For a lot of people, it is, and that's the best part.
Right.
You can do any way you want to do it, and you don't have to be mad at somebody else for not doing it that way.
Right.
It's art, for God's sakes. The whole point is to express you, not me. Like, you don't need to express me. Express you, dude.
Exactly.
My opinion doesn't matter, and that's a lot of people.
But if me expressing myself gets in the way of you expressing yourself,
that's a whole different story. That's a whole nother topic. You can't stop somebody from expressing themselves. And that's where it gets into being toxic and nasty, and that's where you are actually incredibly negative to the music scene. Right. Or really any person in general. Not exclusive to the music scene. That's any situation in general. Have your opinion all day long, just as long as it doesn't
and that can
somebody or me.
And that can look a million different ways. Mm-hmm. That can look a million different ways in a band. And I just think that, like, getting to the point to where you can, if something's bothering you about something, you can bring it up immediately and get it out so it doesn't, like, sit and simmer. The communication is key, man. Mm-hmm. You can't, like, if there's ever an issue or anything that stays like under the curtain for too long, it becomes something that it's not.
Well, and that's kind of once again, I've been blessed to work with a lot of musicians that communicate correctly.
Right.
You know, they sit down and they say, "Hey."
It takes a while to build that group.
Yeah, and I mean, I keep saying me because I'm so lucky. It's the only thing I can really relate. You know, because it's my own experience. Kind of thing. But a lot of the guys, like even when things went incredibly south with stuff, it was still communicated correctly, and it like, you know, we talked things through, and, you know, everything worked out, and it went one way, and instead of going incredibly the other way, you know, I mean? Like even the bad stuff went good, and it was because there was respect in the communication. Everybody heard what everybody had to say, and then we all communicated correctly how to fix the issue. We brainstormed together, and when you start blaming people and you start putting entire fault on one person, and instead of trying to help them, that's when you alienate them, and that's when they're gone, and that's when you literally, like, the relationship starts to suffer. So, like, if you and I were in a band together and something went down, it went down, man. Okay, let's
Life
fix
goes
it.
on.
Life goes on. Let's fix it. Let's move forward. What happened? Let's go this way. How can I help that not happen again?
Yeah.
And that's the way a lot of the guys, like I said, I'm blessed to work with, they approached it like that. They were, "Hey, this really, really sucks, and you were an asshole for doing that, Austin. We don't want that to happen again. How can we help you not do that again? We are friends first.
Right.
Like, what can we do?" And, man, it has really shaped the way I view a lot of the guys that, like, come into me at the shop and stuff, because the way when people bring me their guitars, it's, how can I help you be a better musician rather than give me your money.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care. Like, I'll do a little extra work because I want the guitar to play right rather than, like, just not do it because they didn't ask. Like, they didn't. Yeah. They couldn't pay for it. You know what I mean?
Money isn't real, George.
Yeah. So it's like, and a lot of people don't. They don't want to help anybody.
Yeah, well, I think that a lot of people just feel like anytime they see somebody else succeed, that takes away from their success. Like there's there's a finite amount of success that can be obtained, and someone else being successful somehow robs them of some of their success, which
it's not a zero-sum game.
You're right, it's not.
And but that's what people think it is. It's
exactly
like they think. they think that because you get one gig, that means I don't get that gig.
Yes.
Okay, well, I get that gig instead of that gig.
Yeah.
Like, it's
right.
just the way it is. Like, there's hundreds of gigs to go around. There's tons of songs to be written. Just because you wrote a song doesn't mean I don't get to write a song.
Right.
And people forget that. And it sucks, man, because you get disheartened sometimes. And everybody does it, me included. You know, you get in these ruts where you don't play anything. You don't want to play any music. You don't want to write any music. You don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to create anything.
Yeah.
And that's like the worst. It's the pits,
Yeah, man. When you have all that, see, emotion goes into writing music and creating art. Whether it's positive emotion or negative emotion, it's all emotion.
Yeah.
That's what goes into it. And if you are not putting that thing down on either canvas or paper or within music or something like that, it stays within you. And that is so bad for emotion. Mm-hmm. What up, Watcher? How's it going?
But
that's right, more than enough for all.
Exactly. There's more than enough room for everybody, and that's the thing, is that people just think that it's going to go one way or the other. And and it even comes down to original music. You know, there's a lot of original artists down here, and we don't necessarily go out to see them perform. And bless you. Bless you.
Goodness.
And we don't necessarily go out to see them perform a lot of the times. And most of the time it's because, you know, we're working. You know, we got gigs, we're playing, you know, that kind of stuff. We play till 2 a.m. and then we're going to bed. You know, we're not going to go out to see another band play when we've been playing all night kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when we do have the opportunity, we don't, and me included. And it's everybody's at fault. It's not, you know, nobody's perfect. But a lot of the times I hear people talking about original bands that come in there and they talk crap. And I have to... It sucks because I have to remind myself that people, they get mad when someone else can express themselves and they can't.
Yeah,
it frustrates them so much, and that's what it really comes down to, because these people are writing these songs like, man, I know some artists down here that are really pushing their original music, and it's freaking killer. Some people are doing it in their cover sets, and it's really awesome that venues are letting them do that. I'm really excited about it, and I really want it to continue.
Same here.
And I know people that just talk so much crap, and it's only, it's like written bright red ink on the wall. It's that they're frustrated that they're in a rut and they cannot express themselves through their music and they can't figure it out. And I'm not mad at them. Like any of the people that do that, I'm not mad at them. It's one of those things that I've been there, and it sucks, and I feel them.
And it's the kind of thing you have to pull yourself out of.
Yeah,
nobody can really help you there.
Yeah, and it's like I don't get mad at them. I don't think bad about them. I don't judge them, anything like that, because we've all been there. We've all been angry at other artists. We've all been at that point in our career, in our path towards whatever situation you want in music.
Right.
And it just sucks.
And you know, another thing too that I feel that I got out of the way early in my career as a musician was getting to that point to where if this is as far as this goes, I'm fine with that.
Man, to be honest, if I'm just a cover artist for the rest of my life getting to play down on the Inlet, my favorite gig that I get to play right now is the Inlet Tap Garden.
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite gig. And it's not because it pays well. It's not because it does anything, because it's normal, everything. Like, it's just normal.
It's because you are making money to live in a place where people come to go on vacation. We've retired.
It's like my favorite spot on the planet, and I get to play music there, and someone is paying me to do it.
What if they find out?
I know.
What if they find out what they're paying us for?
Man, like, it's just beautiful. And
it is, Watcher, you're right.
Like, it's just one of those things that, like, I love playing that gig. And a lot of people, like they don't love playing anymore.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And I feel for them. And it's not that I'm pitying or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just I've been there, man.
Sometimes
It
you gotta
sucks,
you gotta throw that set list away.
Yeah, start a new one.
Start a
That's
brand
how I
new one.
started
Retire all the songs that you play too much.
Dude,
Start doing
That's how I started doing all my R&B and hip hop stuff because that's what I listened to. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing some reggae and R&B and hip hop and stuff. And next thing I know, that's what people wanted me to play. And I was
Right.
like, heck yeah, dude, I'll start playing this stuff all the time.
Same thing happened to me with early 2000s emo stuff, man. Like when I was talking about Taking Back Sunday, My Chemical Romance and shit
yeah,
earlier.
dude.
Like I just started doing all that stuff within like the last year because like that's what I listen to when I'm
play
hanging out by
Dashboard?
myself. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Like that. See, and that's the kind of stuff. Like if I were going out to a bar, I would want to listen to that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm excited about is that more artists are starting to do that. They're starting to change up their set list. Margaritaville isn't played anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I have it in my book, but it's
those
there
songs
for
have graduated into what the Freebird was.
Yeah, and
all of those things.
And now, I want to hear Green Day and Blink-182 and like all these other stuff that like we grew up listening to, like things from the 90s, 80s and
Right.
90s, 2000s, all this awesome music that just gets completely overlooked that
Right.
can be reworked by artists like you and I and be completely new and you're able to really produce some really fun stuff in music.
It's like a joke that you've heard 1,000 times 20 years ago that your grandpa used to tell you, and then you don't hear it for 20 more years, and you hear it again, and it's just as funny as it was the first time you heard it.
And now you speak French, so you can say it in French, and it's even funnier.
Right. That's the way. That's how these songs work, man.
Yeah.
They're just like I do so much of that, and there's so much gold from the '80s. Brian Rossler, when I stopped by OD Lounge the other day after I had
a good
a
spot.
double book at a Pirates Cove. So I walked over and hung out with Brian for a minute, and he did the greatest version of Shout that I think I've ever heard.
Really? I'll have to come out and see that. I haven't heard his version.
Dude.
Of that. I bet that thing's awesome, dude.
It's killer. And I'm like, dude, there's so much gold. Like, I've been doing Echo and the Bunnymen and stuff like that, like Killing Moon.
I started doing Tears for Fears. I did.
Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Yes, but I changed the key.
So I got that on vinyl over there.
Dude, I drop my low E string down to, drop D, and then I play it in D and G, and then I do this whole finger style. Do it all acoustic, and it's so much fun. And I'm out of breath by the end of the song. And I mean, I've always kind of had this rule for myself. I don't know if anybody else has ever felt this way. I don't know if you've ever felt this way. Yeah, I love that song. I love that song. Tears for Fears is one of all time favorite bands. But
Yeah, they're so good.
so if I'm on stage and I'm out of breath, then I've done something right.
Right.
Like that's if I catch myself and I'm like
That's me at the end of Under Pressure.
yeah, but see, and that's like you're like I put a lot into that song. I
Yeah.
did what I wanted to do. Like that
Leave
was
it
what
all
I wanted.
on the
Like,
table
you left
there.
it there, and that's like even when I was doing theater and I was acting and singing, like doing musicals and stuff. If I didn't walk off stage out of breath, I was upset at myself.
Yeah.
I did not put enough.
didn't push
of what
hard.
I didn't push hard enough.
Yeah.
I didn't do what I needed to do, and I do that even now, even with my cover gigs. Man, they suck and they're terrible, and a lot of them are boring and nobody's paying attention, and we're literally wallpaper. But I will sit there and jam out to my music for
Right.
all I want. And people make fun of me. I don't care if they're laughing because I'm jamming and dancing. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time.
Well, another thing too is you seem like you've had that thought as well, to where if this is what we do for forever.
Oh, that's literally where I was going with that. That's my favorite gig is that if I'm a cover musician for forever, and this is as far as my music career ever goes, I'm 100%.
How much farther have we already gone in our music careers than so many musicians wish they could go?
Okay, so I was
Not saying that this is a competition. I don't want to.
No, it isn't a competition. But how far do you want to go, and how far
Right.
is that like going on? I was talking about this with my girlfriend, and we were talking about like the different things because she was like, "Well, what are you going to talk about on the podcast? Like, how's it going to go?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Maybe this this thing or this thing kind of thing like this like."
Yeah, we didn't discuss this at all.
We didn't discuss this anything. But she was like, "Well, like, what kind of touring have you done?" And I was like, "Well, I did Disney touring, like real, like international professional touring on the roadie side and on the performance side, and then I did like low level bands and stuff. Like I've done every like part of it all the way.
That's
down to,
where
like,
your
the covers,
organizational
like,
packing comes in, right?
Yeah, that's where that's where any of the real organizational stuff comes in.
Yeah.
Is being corporate organized,
Right.
But because they're, you know, as I do, they're strict about what happens. But And I think after talking to her, I think it really has given me a really good perspective of how view my music career.
Yeah.
And I'm happy.
Right.
I would like, to be honest, I'd like more band gigs because I really enjoy playing with my band.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Like, I like those guys. It's like really, really fun.
Right.
But, they're harder to get. And so you got to ease your way in. You got to get into them. We're getting more as it goes on. And that's kind of what I'm enjoying. We're getting more. People are asking for us. They're calling us saying we had people come out to Hot Fish Club the other day that came out because they heard our name.
That's the best feeling, isn't it?
And I was like, thank you. Like,
yeah.
Dang, dude, make me blush up here.
We did this.
Like, and that's the kind of stuff that's happening more often. And that's what I'm seeing is that this sense of wonder has been lost and it's coming back. And I'm so excited about it. A lot of musicians around here, a lot of the cover artists, they're starting to do their own thing. They're realizing Myrtle Beach doesn't have to be a desert.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to.
And to be perfectly honest, I know that the guys will listen to this, and I don't mean anything, like nothing to be taken personal on this, but just I sort of didn't do a lot of my original stuff because I felt like maybe me doing my original thing would further my name more than it, like that I would be furthering my name more than I would like a band that I was part of.
It's a different path,
and it is a different path, and I just kind of that's why I've got like 20 songs that I've written that I just haven't done anything with, that I just didn't want there to be any kind of negative connotation to what I've been doing lately, and there hasn't been. Like, I've gotten nothing but support from everybody that I'm in bands with and like around. And I just realized that I was creating that situation for myself more than they were.
Absolutely. And remember that they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
They can work together. They can be separate but equal at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's
right, Brian.
I know, I love that kind of stuff. And like, I'm working with my cousin for our original project right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the band is suffering. It doesn't mean that my friends don't support that. They're in the same band as I am, but they're not in this original project necessarily, everybody. And they will be involved, but not right this second.
Yeah.
And they don't hate me because of that. There's nothing but support. There's nothing but awesome. Hey, when can we hear your stuff? I want to hear what you got going on. Dude, you should do this in this song. This sounds really good. You know, it's nothing but support in it. And that's kind of, I realized the same exact thing. I was putting on all that pressure on myself. Oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do this. They're going to be mad at me.
Right.
It might be really selfish. They're going to think I'm the problem. When in reality, that's just me being an idiot.
You're just walking your path.
Yeah. I'm just doing my thing. They're doing their thing, and they're excited that I want to do my thing with them. You know what I mean? And that's the part that people forget. I'm excited, and I'm excited to be at that point in my life where I'm excited to just be a part of someone else's ride. In any capacity.
Yeah.
Like, whatever way they want me to be, I'm excited about that. Like, I want to know, like, hey, you want to work with me musically? Awesome. You want me to come on your podcast? Awesome.
Yeah.
You want to just come in and hang out with me at the shop?
By the way, I was stoked at how excited you got the other day when I was like, "You want to come on Sunday? I don't have a guest for Sunday." I don't think.
Yes, I know. You don't understand.
And do you know that's how I've gotten like the last few guests that I've had was like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I don't have anything going on tomorrow. You want to just?"
That's so cool.
Yeah,
serendipity, man. The universe is shooting it out your way. It's awesome.
Well, that's and before we go. And I know we're coming up on like the hour 45 mark.
Sorry, everybody.
No, don't apologize at all. The only reason I say that is because I check the amount of time that the camera has before it's completely full. Because I'm an idiot and I forget to empty the bank, and there's just too much good stuff I don't want to delete. Music stuff. By the way, I delete just about all of the podcast episodes off of here. Just if they ever get taken off of YouTube, we'll be screwed. But
that's okay.
Who cares? They're fine. I've got audio backup.
They're on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, they're there somewhere. But
yeah, the universe must be shooting something your way, man.
Well, not just that. Coming. Not just that. I was actually going to bring up the fact that Rob from Couch on Fire podcast that I've had on stopped by to
see me.
To see you.
Yeah, he's super cool.
Yeah, very, very cool guy. And dude, I was just curious so many times. Out of however many times I've said on the podcast, you know, this is where I get my stuff from.
Yeah.
Like, stop. I'm just curious to see what the podcast reach has done to affect that sort of business at all. And I was just curious
Okay, so there's a story that's kind of funny. I was telling about maybe 6 months ago or so. I was sitting there, like at the desk, working on something. And somebody came in and they were asking about, recording gear, and they were setting up something at the house. And I was like, okay, well, like, what are you trying to do? Like, what's the application you're trying to do? Oh, well, I'm trying to do a podcast. Oh, really? That's really cool. I've got a couple friends of mine that do them. Let's see if we can't set you up similar to theirs. Theirs sounds really great.
Yeah.
I personally like the way it sounds. Maybe you do as well. And he was like, oh, well, I saw this one. It was Merle's Inlet stuff, and I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, and they said he got his stuff here, and I was like, he did? I said, that's Kelsey. I said, it's freaking awesome. I was like, heck yeah. I said, let's set you up with the same stuff he does. So he bought one of these mics. He bought a board. Like, he was ready to go.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
man.
and it's really cool. And I'm excited to set anyone else, if y'all have anything, even if I'm not the expert on it, I'm happy to help you figure it out.
Right.
Figure out a way to do it.
And that's the best way to do anything, by the way.
Yeah, and that's kind of thing. If you don't know where to start and you're lost in anything music, I suggest come see me at my shop.
Yep.
Come see me. I will happily talk you through, even like I said, even if I don't know anything, I will happily point you in the right direction or help you get started to a way to get you rolling in that direction. Because it's hard, man. When you look at the internet, there's a million different things going on and you get lost.
Yeah, and to be perfectly honest, it is nice to actually speak to humans instead of watch them on screens to talk about things like this, because a computer screen can answer most questions that you type into it, but not specifically the way that you want every time. And it's good to talk through people.
Yeah, and I kind of...
Not through, but
I make sure to take time. Like, when people come in, like, I make sure, like, if they have real questions and they're because, man, I remember growing up, I really appreciated... There was a guy that I used to go to, and I really appreciated the fact that as a kid he took time to take me seriously.
Right.
And it really helped me. And a lot of the teachers down here, like Dorothea, be like musician, like she was my percussion instructor for a while, stuff like that, they really took me seriously as a kid. And so I try to take everything.
That's very important.
Yeah, and I try to take kids that are taking serious music, take them seriously, and adults who want to get into it seriously. I know guys that are 70 learning ukulele. I try to take them seriously.
Right.
Like, as ridiculous as that sounds, like, they're really into it, and it's serious to them. And so I take time out of my bench, and I go over and I talk to them. I talk away through them, and I walk them through the different parts of whatever they're interested in.
Yeah.
I make sure they've got it right, because it sucks when you go to somebody and they just kind of don't care, and they point you in a random direction, and it makes it even worse.
Right.
That's not what the music industry is about, and that's kind of why I work for Joey. Joey's the same kind of way, man.
Yeah, Joey's great people.
He wants to make sure people are okay before he makes his dollar. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I enjoy. Like, if a guy comes in with a guitar and he can't pay for it, I'm gonna fix the guitar. Like, that's a guitar player, man. I know I would be distraught if something was wrong with my guitar and I couldn't fix it, and and then I couldn't pay for it, and I take it into somebody and they say sorry. Like, nah, man, I'm gonna fix that guitar.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's kind of...
Not to be taken advantage of, guys.
Not to be taken advantage of. But I'm happy to help people if people need help. And that's a lot of the information that I get. So a lot of people come out this way, and I'm happy to pick my brain all day long. You got something wrong with your guitar? You guys, your tone's weird? Let's figure it out, man.
Right.
Like, let's plug it up to an amp and let's figure it out. So, and that's really what I kind of do. I really consult, and that's kind of where we were talking about if I never go anywhere else in our musical industry. I'm really, really happy being a consultant and gigging.
Right.
I help people every single day with their gear.
Yeah.
I get to, like, even if it's like, I know fixing guitars, like, is 100% intrinsic and has no real value in the world other than it just makes me and other people like me happy.
Yeah.
Like, that's really it. Like, when you get down to it, guitar is just something that makes you happy.
Right.
And I get to help someone else be happy by fixing their instrument every single day. And I get, like you said, you get to go up on stage and you find that person that might not be having a good day, and you go out there and you play that song for that person.
Yeah.
They might not know it.
That energy gets to them.
But the energy is getting there, and it's happening. And you get to do something good for somebody every day.
Right.
And that's something that I didn't have. And that's something that I was really upset, and I want to feel fulfilled. And helping somebody, working as a guitar technician, whether I work for Joey or not, I really enjoy working on guitars and helping people.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm gonna do that forever, like as long as I possibly can.
Sure.
And as long as somebody will let me gig, I'll gig as long as they'll let me, man. Like,
that's the thing. We'd never get to retire, man.
yeah, I'd never get to retire. As long as somebody's paying me to get
We're already
I don't care if
retired.
they'll pay me. Yeah, we're already retired. That's
We're
the
already
thing.
retired.
All I do is help people and play music. It's great. And I mean, in a different way, but that's what I want to do. I want to sit there and I want to do that. And I think a lot of people in this music scene are starting to go that direction as well. They want to be fulfilled, and they're finding that being fulfilled is helping the music scene, and helping the music scene helps them, and they're becoming more successful. It's this big circle that I don't understand. People just want to cut it off. Don't cut it off. Let it roll.
Right.
Like, it's easy, man.
Let this thing happen.
You're a part of the wheel. We're going uphill, man. Let's do it.
But yeah, so like, and what he's saying is absolutely true. Because I mean, just even through process of elimination of me trying to get better sound out of this podcast, man, I was going up to the store a couple times a week and like trying different things. And
I'm by no means an expert, but I was happy to help you out any way I possibly could.
we figured it out.
We figured it out, and I think it sounds great.
I think it sounds pretty good.
I think it sounds good. Good enough for these people.
Good enough for these folks. Good enough for you goons.
I love it, man.
Oh, well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you being here, Brother Austin. Is there any, I'm not running you off by any chance, by any means, but is there any final thoughts you want to leave with the folks, or anything you've been listening to or watching lately, or any suggestions on things like that, or just a nice little send-off to the folks listening at home or watching?
Sure, man. I'll reiterate kind of one of my biggest things, and it's just be good. Like, be good to your fellow musicians, be good to your instrument, be good to yourself, take care of anything you got going on, your friends, your brain, your physical health. Just try to be good. People forget that being like the growing process contains the resting period.
Yeah.
You have to have a time for yourself. And a lot of people don't do that. It's work, work, work. It's the end of the summer. I know a lot of musicians who are burnt out. Take time for yourself. Be good to your friends. Go to the pool. Have a beer. Go smoke a joint. Whatever is your deal. Have a good time, and remember, just stop hating people and be good. Be good to everybody.
Be good people.
Instead of yourself, man. Be good to yourself.
Be good to yourself. Be good to everybody, but you can't be good to everybody until first you can be good to yourself.
Absolutely.
You can't love anybody else until you learn to love yourself. Learn to do that.
All we can do is try, man.
All we are ever going to be able to do is try. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Teamwork makes the dream work. Tell them, Brian. Oh, man. I appreciate you, Brian, and I'll say it. I don't know how many times, but Brian Rossler was already leading the way when I came to this area.
I'm excited to be working with him
more than a decade ago. So
I'm blessed to know the man. I have to say,
we are all very blessed to have you part of this industry, Brian. Because this is an industry.
It really is. It's crazy, but it's there.
It is indeed. All right, guys. Well, since you some folks, I know I do this in podcasts, and a lot of folks might skip past the intro part so they can get straight to the content. And if you did that, you might have missed me ask you guys to go check out mistuffpodcast.com so that you can be caught up to date with everything else going on. And there's new singles that are going to be released. I actually released another single today. But before I go further into that, Austin on Instagram at Austin Perry Music.
Yeah. Check out all my cover stuff. Check out my shows. Check out my original projects. We're doing some music. It's always good to support all your other musicians.
Suavocado.
There you go.
But one of the greatest band names of all time. I think I said that the first time I heard it.
It's ridiculous, that's for sure.
That's so hilarious. Oh, man. So, yes, at Austin Perry Music, and I'm pretty sure at Austin Perry Music on Facebook as well.
Austin Perry Music, that's me.
And Twitter. You do the Twitter thing?
I think so.
Cool. So, yeah, that's where you can find Brother Austin and the Suavocado. Do you guys have a page?
On Facebook. We got one on Facebook, yeah, and the original project is called Talking Trees. We're on Facebook right now, and on Instagram. We're going to be coming out with our solo or with our album in like maybe 2-3 months.
Right on.
It's going to be really fun, man. I'm really excited about it.
At Talking Trees?
Talking Trees.
At Talking Trees. Go check that out and follow him on all the social media. And links to all of my social media will be at mistuffpodcast.com. You'll be able to see links to the podcast pages on the front page of the website. And if you want to go to the About/Music section, the links to my personal social media pages will be on that that front page on the About Music section. And there's also links to all of the originals that I've released, and I actually released a very personal original today called Family Business. That's a very, very personal song.
That's where it's at, man.
About,
I love it.
I'll let you guys listen to it.
I'm excited to listen
decide.
to it, that's for sure.
But anywho, Timmy Pierce, there's one for you. Timmy always says, you say anywho a lot. And I'm like,
Anywho.
I know. What can we do? All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get on with your day, audio folks. Thanks for hanging out. And please go and subscribe on any platform, anywhere podcasts are available. And please leave me a review as well so I'll know how I'm doing. I need any kind of input would be great. I don't care whether it's positive or negative. I'll take it all right on the chin, and I love it. I need the information. And by the way, we got Norm.
Oh, yeah, that was freaking awesome.
We got Norm.
That was just, I told my brother about that one.
God,
I thought
it's
it was
so awesome,
cool.
man. So awesome. But anyway, compliments, constructive criticism, I'll take them all right on the chin. Anything you got, I would appreciate any kind of information on how you guys are enjoying this thing. But anyway, in a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. You have the decision every single day to be a good person or be a shitty person. Make that decision in every instance to be the good person.
Even to yourself.
Even to yourself. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your day. Peace, bitches. All right, YouTubers, hang tight for just a second. Let's do this intro thing here.
Live from the Screwball
Whiskey Studio.
Lots of music.
That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Live from the Screwball Whiskey Studios, indeed. Hey, guys. How you living? You doing well? Good. Glad to hear that. In this episode, Brother Austin Perry stopped by to talk about all sorts of things. We made no plans on what we were going to talk about. This conversation is literally just that, a stream of consciousness conversation about whatever came to mind. And we talked a lot about the music industry. We responded to the YouTube chat. And by the way, if you guys ever want to be a part of a live show, please do that through YouTube chat. We're very good about responding to things that, folks that are watching from home. So if you ever want to communicate with us, that's how you can do that, through live chat. But we did communicate with a lot of folks through the live chat, and a lot of names that will be mentioned that have been on the podcast before that you'll recognize. And I think we had a lot of really groundbreaking thoughts come through this talk. So if you're interested in the Myrtle Beach music industry or any Myrtle Beach music, or if you're just interested in turning off everything else in your life for an hour or so, then this is going to be a good talk for you. So anyway, please go to @AustinPerryMusic on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, @TalkingTrees on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and Suavocado on all of the platforms of social media.
Just be involved, man.
Just be involved, man. That's right. And go check out all of those pages and stay up to date with all the cool new original stuff that's going to be coming around soon from Brother Austin here. And please go to mistuffpodcast.com, and the podcast social media links are on the front page of that website. And if you click on the music /about/music section, you'll find links to the originals that I've released, the singles that I've released lately. And you'll also have links to all of my personal social media there if you're interested in that. You just have to click it to wake it up. But yeah, I also have links to all of the like YouTube pages, the PayPal page where if you guys, it's not necessary, but if you guys want to leave a tip, there's links in the description of the videos usually for a PayPal or a Venmo. And like I said, it's not necessary, certainly appreciated, but that's where you can do that if you want. And there's links to all of that on the front page of the website. So everything that you need will be there. Screwballwhiskey.com. Thanks so much to our sponsors, the beautiful people of screwballwhiskey.com. SKREW ballwhiskey.com. Tomorrow's stories begin right here. Screwball Whiskey. Thank them so much for taking a chance on me when I didn't have any kind of sponsorship at all. I just kind of wanted to be able to say I had a sponsor.
Yeah, that's killer,
now
man.
I can do that.
That's an awesome sponsor.
Now I can do that. So yeah. Also, I've just started watching this show. I finished Kill Tony, you guys know. I've just started watching this show that Tony Hinchcliffe actually suggested called I'm Dying Up Here. And if you like comedy at all, I suggest you watch that. But since we are about to be rolling into our content, I don't want to do that. I want you guys to hear this whole thing. So anyway, without further ado, episode number 163 of the MI Stuff Podcast featuring Austin Perry. Enjoy, motherfuckers. And that is that. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. This was I think I had the most live viewers on this one than I have had since I did a Jamie Deluxe episode.
That's awesome.
And
thanks, guys.
You guys hung around for the most part for the whole time. The chat was active.
Yeah.
You guys did great. You did good. And click the link in the center of the page. It's not there right yet. It will be soon. Don't freak out, live watchers. Subscribe to the channel. Please share the page. I'm trying to get to 420 subscribers. That's my next threshold that I want to meet. We are at 342 right now, and that's a lot better than we were, man.
It's freaking awesome, man.
We're sliding right on up. I want to do this thing slow. I don't want to gain thousands overnight and lose them all. I want to slowly build this thing.
I think I have 12 subscribers on YouTube.
Let's fix that. What's your YouTube channel?
I have no idea. I might be Austin Perry Music. I don't know.
I tell you what, I'm gonna find the link to your page. I'm gonna link it up at this video.
There is a video of me skydiving on YouTube though. If you type in Austin Perry skydiving video and you see I didn't have a beard and so you see my face yeah, it's really funny.
That's cool. I'm gonna link up Austin's. Do you add things to it regularly?
Yeah, we're adding like all of our Talking Trees stuff. We got a YouTube. We're adding all our stuff there. All our original project stuff is gonna go on there.
Cool. Well, I'll be putting links to all of that stuff on this video. So yes, click the links in the center of the page right now, and the videos in the top corners if you want to. Other than that, be good people. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. Peace, bitches.